Welcome back to Anno 1800. Today we're going to be making a short episode, just going over what's happened since last time. We, of course, are trying to get our canned goods economy going. And to do that, we're going to need to build a cannery. Now, our focus had been to go to our adjacent island over in East Helena. So our homeland here, we left and we came over to this new island across the water, and we started working on building pepper farms and cattle farms. And to do that, we really kind of had to get the whole little town established. Looks like we have a delivery quest interrupting us. We'll take her up on that one. In any case, the building of a cannery and artisanal kitchen also require the creation of a window maker. And to do that, we have to create a sand mine economy, and we have to build a glass works. And so we started mining sand here on the beach and exporting it across the water to our glass makers back home in Helena. And the reason why we had to do that is because the workers who work in the glass works have to be artisans, and we don't have any artisans in East Helena, so we have to export the raw materials across the water. And we have fertility for the peppers, and so we have to grow them here and then export them across the water as well. So we have quite a little menagerie of ships moving back and forth now. Some of them bringing work clothes and fish, and some of them bringing commodities back home. And in other news, we did have our first riot, and we had our first fire over in East Helena. We got our fire station built and our police department built over there. And we also have been struggling a little bit with our budget. We started to dip a bit into the negative and had to do a delivery quest to make some quick money to get out of debt. Now we're a bit balanced, it looks like, and that's great. But we're also just a bit poor. Princess Qing did offer us an alliance, but we had to turn it down because it would have cost $30,000, and we just did not have it at the time. Now, in other news, we have a new dockland expansion available to us. We're able to build docklands out in the water at some point if we want to. We, I believe, have also unlocked the path for building airships. That's a new expansion in the game, which I've never actually experienced. And we have a number of expeditions pending over here. Opportunity to go visit the Land of Lions, pirate hunts, rescue missions, archaeological expeditions, all sorts of things to do as soon as we get a chance. And so, without further ado, while we're at it, let's make our way over to do this quest that I was just notified of. Where did it go now? Oh, here we go. We have to go over here and collect something from Princess Qing's ornate clipper. So what ship are we going to send? We're going to send the HMS Towers to rendezvous with this ship.
Your conduct is exemplary.
And I am ready to collect the cargo. Actually, I'll take a couple of these ships and we will send them together in a convoy.
Fleet on the move.
It's not a very far voyage. These two ships that we're sending are actually supposed to be engaged in trade, so we don't want them gone too long, but it's all right. They can be spared for a few minutes. We'll speed up the game for a moment. I'm going to see if I can afford to build another frigate, just because trade is the backbone of our economy, and whatever we can do to have a little bit more mobility and ability to move commodities will be appreciated. We do have a couple other islands over here that we've settled and done nothing with. We have a fresh island out here that we are going to call Tanzand, and we have a rather large island in the south which has been settled, and it is going to be known as Hamilton. Of course, these are both towns in real-life Montana, so the theme has been modeling our towns after real-life little towns in Montana, which I know well enough to give just a bit of a personal touch. I like that. And we do have the lighthouse in sight. Looks like the pickup quest is well underway. This is essentially the seat of the crown. This is kind of like going to London or something. All right.
Firewood must gather before the sun dies.
Ready for a challenge.
Let's see.
Stations.
Stations.
Now, hold up, my friends. What have we got going on here? Well, we dropped the poems into the water over here. That's a real shame. I don't know how I did that,
Coordinates plotted.
but somehow I made the dreadful mistake of sending two
Just say
ships
the word.
all the way across the map, and I didn't have the cargo I needed, and I left the actual cargo I did need floating in the water back home, and that's absolutely ridiculous.
New
But anyway, we do have the HMS Gardner on its way to deliver what we misdelivered, or rather didn't deliver at all. That reminds me of a story that I heard about in a book I was listening to, an audio book. And actually, I gotta interrupt this because you know what? I see Santa Claus. Look at that. There's Santa Claus. Santa Claus is traveling along. Isn't that awesome? Well, hello, Santa Claus. Anyway, that was a nice sight. Did not expect to see him. Anyway, as the story went, there was a gentleman who was driving a truck down in Australia, and he had loaded up his truck with pigs, and then he went to the dock of the place he was supposed to deliver them somewhere a long ways off, and the man told him, well, are you here to pick something up? And he said, no, I'm here to deliver these pigs. And the person said, well, I don't know what you're talking about because there's no pigs. And
Mind as fine as jade.
well, anyway, long story short, that man had driven all the way across Australia, and he lost his pigs halfway across and bounced them right on out, and he didn't even notice it. And by the time he realized that they weren't there, he already had gotten to his destination with an empty truck. It's kind of like what we have just done. Anyway, we finished that delivery quest. Looks like all is well, and we are running a balanced budget here. I'll show you real quick while we're at it. Over here, back in Helena, we have built our very first town hall, an administrative building, at the site of what will eventually be the capital of our new fledgling state. This area right here is modeled after real life Helena's capital campus, so it'll be fun to see as this little area slowly grows,
Ship
gets
under
filled with
attack.
administrative buildings, and eventually becomes a grand seat of power.
I had a good run.
And we are under attack. Let's take a peek. There is a pirate ship there. Let's see. Can we intercept it? Sure would be nice if we could.
Front cannons!
We did. We sunk a pirate ship, which means that we'll get some bounty.
Dead already.
And it looks like if we paid $55,000, we could acquire a ceasefire. That seems like a dreadfully bad deal. So we're not going to do that. But we did acquire 10 cannon from that ship we just sunk. Seas are just a little bit safer, and the economies of Helena and East Helena are well on their way to one day supporting what we hope to be a canned food industry. That's where we're at today. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time.
You and your
Goodbye.
food.